Hello there, fellas and ladies, welcome back to Goodfellas Garage. Today I'm gonna do a complete service on my 2011 Ford Crown Victoria that I got from Orlando Police Department. I'm gonna head over to Crazy Ivan's. I'm gonna use his lift. I'm gonna flush all the fluids in this car. I'm gonna do a little bit of servicing and maintenance to this good old Crown Vic. And let me show you what I got from the dealer. I have a trunk full of parts, and the cool thing about this car, it actually came with the factory Ford remote system, so I don't have to install one. So let's check out what's in the trunk. Alrighty fellas, as you can see here, I have a trunk full of Ford parts, everything except the oil I got from the Ford dealer. The oil I got from Walmart, it's 12 quarts of Mobil 1 520 for 55 bucks, I think. That's what I paid. And I have every single fluid in here that I need to flush, to change all the fluid in here. I have brake fluid. I have a case of Americon 5 transmission fluid. The case is about 12 quarts. This transmission takes about 14, so I actually purchased 17 quarts to have additional fluid here somewhere. I got a fuel filter, air filter. There's a transmission filter here, transmission pan gasket over there. You really don't need to change that, but because they're reusable, but I bought one anyways. Let's see, .3 brake fluid. I got a couple of stinkies. I call them stinkies. These are friction modifiers for rear end and transmission. 75 W140 synthetic axle fluid. These is actually pretty expensive, like 20 bucks a quart. So all Motorcraft. And what I also got, I got the front and rear shocks because this car is a little bouncy, so I'm going to change those as well. And let me show you something else here. I was going to fix these headlights because they yellowed up. I was going to do the wet sand and then clear coat, and these whatever these side markers are kind of loose. But after checking the price at the dealership for new headlights and new side markers, I decided to buy new ones. New headlights, OEM from the dealer, 60 bucks a piece, and then side markers are $22 a piece. So I just bought new ones. It was just cheaper to do that. And then total bill was, for everything from the dealership, $697.56. That's it. All of this is under $700. And then I'm gonna spend a few hours flushing the fluids and changing filters, and that's about it. So let's head over to Crazy Ivan's and get to work. I like to start the service with the rear end. Who doesn't, right? Just start by removing the 13mm bolts on the cover. Get the cover off. Here comes Ivan to bust my balls. This particular rear end has a 355 ratio, and this car gets pretty horrible gas mileage on the highway. Make sure you remove that little cooler, that heat exchanger, and put it back where it is after you reinstall the cover. It's very important. There's a little dimple inside of the housing, and there's a lot of fluid that gets collected there, so make sure you use a rag to get all of the fluid out. A lot of people don't know this and they forget to do that. Make sure you clean off all the RTV sealant from the cover. Same thing on the housing. Make sure you clean off all the old RTV from the housing so you have clean mating surfaces. The fill plug is on the opposite side of the housing, on the driver's side. Make sure you clean off all the debris and whatever shavings are on the magnet.
Hey Al, So I guess you have enough silicone to put the pan back together?
No, I don't.
Well, you know, Ford doesn't really put any gaskets.
That's right.
On these. They usually just put great high temperature silicone on this.
I know, yeah. I don't like to. Ford recommends silicone. They don't sell gaskets for the 8.8 inch rear end.
Correct.
But I buy the Felpro gaskets. Okay. You know why?
Why?
Because I change fluid frequently.
Which is really good.
And it makes it easier to clean up. You know, like you saw how long it took just to clean up all the silicone. This is not gonna last as long as silicone.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah, but it's easier for my life, you know, later down.
Now, do you put a little bit of that yellow glue to tack it in there or not?
No, I don't. I just slap it on.
You slap it on and that's it?
That's it.
No leaks?
No, usually not.
No? All right.
Usually not.
You should do differential fluid service.
Every 30,000 at least.
Yeah, people don't do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it's too late, 150,000 miles later, you need a differential, $3,000 at least.
Well, this one I can tell you just by the looks of the fluid that came out and the smell. This been serviced.
Yeah, it doesn't smell burned.
Yeah,
it's got that.
It still smells
that
like
oil, that differential oil smell to it.
It still smells like the friction modifier. So,
yes, that's correct.
That's what it smells like.
Are you putting the friction modifier again on it?
Yes, you have
Important.
Yes, you have to do it with these limited slip differentials.
Correct.
Yep.
Also, I noticed in the past you used to use that on your Fords and Lincolns you used to buy. I'm talking about 10 years ago. Every time you did a transmission service, you would also put the friction.
I bought
modifier.
I bought two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna put one here. We're gonna put one inside the transmission.
Got it.
You don't have to put inside the transmission, but I like to do it anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember having that little
stinky bottle. I call them stinkies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then also when you were driving the car, it would feel that shuddering.
Yes.
And that cured many of the shuddering.
Yes, it does.
Problems with Ford transmissions.
Yeah. But they have solved them, you know, for the most part. So.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Let's put it together.
Keep it up.
Yeah. As you approach the halfway, mix the stinky into the bottle. Now, people love to overfill rear ends. The proper fill level is actually 1/4 inch below the fill hole. So use one of those zip ties, just bend it 90 degrees and stick it in there and see where the level is. Alrighty fellas, so the next job I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain the power steering fluid and I'm gonna do a quick oil change. So once you remove the oil filter, which is right here, you can drop this power steering hose right here. I don't know if you can see where my finger's pointing. And the entire reservoir just gets drained and you just refill it. That's it. Very easy. So I'm gonna start by removing the filter. Alrighty fellas, so I have finished with the power steering. That was drained and refilled. I already refilled the oil, so that's all good. And right now I'm gonna do the transmission service. So let me show you how I service the 4R75W transmissions that are in the Panther platforms. Alrighty fellas, so what we're looking at here is the good old 4R75W 4-speed automatic transmission. And what you see here is a spot where there used to be a rubber plug. There used to be an inspection hole right here, and they went away with it because they're trying to save a few bucks. So inside that hole, you could locate a bolt and undo the bolt and drain the fluid from the torque converter. You cannot do that anymore because Ford saved millions of dollars by removing that bolt. The last year for the torque converter plug was 2001. Starting with 2002, they still had the hole, but they no longer had the bolt to drain the torque converter. So the only way to really get all the fluid out of this transmission, and there's about 14 quarts in here, is to flush it. Now you can use a flush machine, which I don't have, but what I do is there are two transmission lines, you know. There's a return line and then there's a high pressure line. I don't know which one is what, it doesn't really matter. So what I usually do is I remove one of these hoses, I attach another piece of transmission tubing to the actual metal line, and I just put a pan underneath. Okay, and what I do is I start the engine and I let it run until no more fluid comes out, and then I fill it up with about 5 quarts, and I do this a couple times, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do now, and then after I do that, I'm gonna drop the pan and change the filter. All right, so let's get to work. All right, so here we go. Here's what I did. As you can see, I attached my little scrap piece of transmission tubing to this metal line. I removed this factory line and just pointing them down. I have a pan heat down here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the car down and I'm gonna start the engine and let it run until the fluid stops coming out, and then I'll fill it up, okay? Alrighty, so now that we drained about 5 quarts, I'm gonna add 5 quarts through the dipstick. Yes, this car still has a transmission dipstick. You know, God bless for it. So. Alrighty, so now that I have added 5 quarts, I'm gonna start the engine again. I'm gonna add 5 more quarts. That's gonna be the second time I add 5 quarts, and I'm gonna run the engine for the 3rd time. But after the 3rd time, I am not going to add 5 more quarts. I'm gonna drop the pan instead. All right, so I'm not gonna show you that because it's the same thing over and over. Alrighty, fellas, so now that I pumped the fluid out for the 3rd and final time, I'm gonna drop the pan now. It's 10mm bolts all around, and the pan should be empty. There should be no fluid in there, so you're not swimming in transmission fluid. I hope what I did in terms of a flush makes sense. If it doesn't, you know, ask questions. I'll be happy to help. So basically, I pump it 3 times and I top it off 2 times. That's it. And then the 3rd time, you just drop the pan. Alrighty, fellas, let me show you something very important inside of a valve body. After you remove the old filter, make sure you remove this orange gasket. It gets stuck inside, and a lot of people forget to do that, and then they jam a new filter in there. Just use a screwdriver and pry it up. There it is. Now just spray some brake cleaner, clean all the valve body, and then you can attach the new filter back on. Let's take a look at the pan and the magnet. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of clutch material on it, but not too bad. The pan looks clean. The fluid actually looks pretty clean, so it looks like this was serviced before. I didn't find the plastic pip that you usually find in these pans, which is an indication that the filter has been previously replaced. I mean, this is really nice because it looks like they really serviced this car before. So I'm gonna clean the magnet and put the pan back on. I bought a new gasket, even though the old gaskets are, here it is, they're reusable, but I bought a new one, just a peace of mind, you know. Alrighty, so everything is loosely attached. Now you just have to tighten them in a crisscross pattern. You don't need to go crazy on a tightening. Just hand tight is good enough. Okay. Alrighty fellas, so I finished filling up the transmission. Now the proper way to check the level is to warm up the car, and you have to drive it around until it's really, really warm and hot, and then you put it in park and check the level. That's the only proper way to do it. I'm gonna take it around the block. The car has been idling for about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna see what the level is, if I need to add any or if it's good to go. Well fellas, I'm all done. I'm actually home already. I went back to the shop after my little test drive. I checked the transmission fluid level. I was actually about a half a quart short, so I topped that off. We put the car back on the lift to check for any leaks, so you know everything is good. And I honestly thought that I was going to be able to do all of the fluids and all the services that I anticipated in a day, because I have done this job before and it takes about a day. But you know, I never done it with a camera, so that took, you know, that added, you know, extra time to the job, so we were not able to finish everything. But next week I'll go back and we'll finish the shocks, we'll do the brake fluid flush and a couple other things. So stay tuned for that video. So if you like this one, please subscribe, like, share. Thanks. Bye.